Hey Railbirds, here we are at the 2023 Derby City Classic. We have more 9-ball action for you. This is round 4. Naoyuki Oi from Japan on the left, Pijus Labutis from Lithuania on the right. Both players have 0 losses in this round 4 match. Should be a good one. I'm being joined by Mark White. Hey Mark, how you doing? Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. Hi Kevin, hi to everyone else. Yeah, this should be an interesting match. Naoyuki has hit a lot of form just recently, finished high he went deep in a couple of tournaments, and Pijus Labutis, well, we know about this young man. We did a match of his the other day, and great talent from Lithuania. Nice rhythm player, and both pretty high Fargos as well, not too much between them. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. The lag was quite interesting, that was close. Let's hope for a close match.
While we wait for Pijus to rack, now would be an excellent time to hit that thumbs up. Give us a subscribe, ring that bell if you are so inclined.
We're using the break box for those of you new to the game. Slightly different break box being used here. It's in between the diamonds, first diamond and third.
Naoyuki is telling him that he's confused about the break box as well. Why don't you explain?
That's interesting because Naoyuki plays a lot of Matchroom events, but it's different, isn't it, in this particular event because, well, that's not strictly true, to be honest. Yeah, exactly. It's different here, Naoyuki. It's different, mate.
He says, that's okay, all good, my bad.
Yeah, but you see, that's a great example of no consistency in the game, and that's why. But this is a standalone event. It's got some quirky little rules, which I think, well, you might as well explain now.
Yeah, so as you saw, we're playing with a break box, and the break box is between the first and third diamond along that head string. We are racking with the 9-ball on the spot as opposed to the 1-ball on the spot. No jump cues are allowed. You are allowed to jump the ball, but you must use your full playing cue, and it must be your playing cue. It cannot be your break cue. The must be the 1 in the front, 9 in the middle, the rest of the balls at random, no pattern racking allowed, except for the 2-ball. The 2-ball must not be racked at the back of the rack. Must be racked anywhere but the back of the rack. And as always, 3-foul rule is in effect.
There you go. Now we can sit back, relax, and watch hopefully some great pool from these two big stars now.
There, now that Pijus moved out of the way, we can have a look. I think he's got him hooked.
Yeah, great escape that. It was a bit of a Steve McQueen act, that was. I've been watching a lot of prison escape documentaries just recently. I actually have. Great Escape was one of them. And although
that was a documentary,
in jail here, it's only sort of open prison. It's not too bad, is it?
Yeah, it's kind of minimum security. This is no Alcatraz.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, and he's made it. What a shot.
Oh, and look at the friendly little bump on the 2 as well. Deserved it. Fabulous shot, this. And he really did work that out. He was doing lots of measurements and geometry and refractions and physics. It was all going on there.
And the nice little bump on the 2. Very nice.
Well, we did expect some high quality stuff, Kevin, and I think we're going to get it if early indications are anything to go by.
I think you might be right.
Just a little bit awkward. Doing lots of measurements, isn't he, at the moment?
Very methodical. Yeah, he's going to have to... Yeah, I think he has to come backwards. I don't think he can go forwards. I think he has to come backwards, draw off the 8, just come out to the middle of the table. Yeah, just draw back a few inches. As long as you can clear the 5, you're good. You don't have to try to come all the way down table. Oh, he wanted to go forward.
Yeah, and that made him miss the 3 ball because he was thinking so much about the cue ball, and he didn't really have to get that close to the 4 ball with the 5 in close proximity as well. So I'm a little bit surprised that he's played that shot. He's got away with it. Naoyuki would love to get the jump stick out here, but he can't. Can jump with the full playing cue if he wants, but he's going rail first, I think. Is there a gap? No, I didn't think there was. That was very tight.
All right, ball in hand for Pijus. Fortunate to come away with a shot after that missed. Not only does he have a shot, he has ball in hand and a wide open table.
Yeah, as we've seen before, Pijus doesn't hang about. He's very, very quick. Makes up his mind, gets down and plays the shot.
I like that in a player.
Well, that was a little bit risky.
Yeah, I thought he was just going to just gently roll it in and shoot the 7 in the corner, but he had other plans.
So race to 9 then. Looks like it's going to be first blood to the man from Vilnius in Lithuania. And it is.
Pijus taking first game 1-0 in this race to 9.
There you see the 1 not on the spot. It's the 9. Mustn't forget about the 2. 2 cannot go at the back. Another quirky little rule from Derby City is the fact that it's not necessarily winner's break, it's winner's choice.
Yes, that is correct. It is winner's option. Which is usually winner break. Most people will not opt to have their opponent break, but it has happened.
Didn't you say Corey Jewell once gave up the break?
We have it on our stream, on our channel somewhere. I was going to go back and look for it. We have a 9 on the break. I was thinking it was Corey Jewell, but I couldn't remember for sure. I was going to go double check that.
Now you see the 9 going. The 24-year-old from Lithuania taking a 2-rack lead. And if he was to win it this year, he wouldn't be the youngest. Billy Thorpe is the youngest player ever to win this tournament at age just 20. Fedor Gorst won it, of course, at age 21.
Well, I don't think Billy Thorpe's record will ever be broken because you must now be 21 to play. You can't be younger than 21 now because of the casino.
That's right. Fedor Gorst was actually world champion, wasn't he? And couldn't play in this event his first year because that exact reason. He wasn't old enough.
Yeah, at Caesar Southern Indiana, when it was the horseshoe, the casino was out on a boat out on the river, so they could actually have under 21 in the pool room because it wasn't next to the casino. But when Caesars bought the place and they moved the casino into the main building, they made the casino bigger, but now they can't have anyone under 21 playing the pool tournament.
Yet more little quirks from this amazing event, this real unique event. Naoyuki, not that he looks it, 40 years old now.
You are right, he does not look it.
And yeah, he still dances around and acts the fool like a teenager, doesn't he?
Not only does he not look 40, he probably doesn't feel it either.
Well, at least his shoes are matching today. I remember him turning up at one event I was commentating at and he had different coloured training shoes on, sneakers. One maybe pink, one yellow from memory.
Maybe he wore them out with this running around the table he likes to do.
He's won about 10 events actually in Japan at 9 ball. Still no real big success on the world stage though. But always there and thereabouts, especially recently, he's found a nice bit of form playing in most of the tournaments.
Yeah, with an 8-12 Fargo rate, I can only think it's just a matter of time till he starts winning some events.
Yeah, the only trouble, of course, is the older you get, the more fear you feel, and that produces nerves and affects your confidence. I'm sure he's happy enough, though, travelling around the world, doing what he loves, making an okay living, I guess. Wow, look at this one ball. I think he's on the one.
He got on the one. Maybe a little close to his work.
I don't know what happened there. What happened there? We missed that. Something happened, Kevin.
Yep, I'm getting it. So Naoyuki tried to play safe on the one and didn't get a rail.
Ah. Wow, what a mistake. Why did he go that way? That's nicely controlled.
Nice touch. Now, does the 4 pass the 7?
We'll know so. In about 20 seconds' time.
Yeah.
Leaving less, knowing Pijus. There's your answer. Yes,
yep.
It does.
Yeah, that 1 ball to the 2 ball was definitely the key shot, and the rest of these are wide open.
He was actually runner-up in 2012 in the World 9 Ball. Guess who too?
Who was
Darren
runner?
Appleton.
Pijus or Naoyuki?
Naoyuki.
Ah.
Naoyuki, 2012 runner-up against Darren Appleton, I believe. I'm just going to check that for you.
Against Dynamite Darren.
I beg your pardon.
Against Dynamite Darren?
The semi-final he reached, I'm sorry. Yeah,
okay.
2012, not the final.
All right, Pijus making quick work of that rack. 3-1. Race to 9. Speaking of Darren Appleton, I understand he recently had some health issues, but I understand he's doing much better now.
Yeah, Darren will actually be attending the Super Billiard Expo in Philadelphia. He has a booth there. He has a new range called Dynamite cues and doing a lot of work with Tiger as well.
So
doing
if you're in the
very
area,
well indeed.
Stop in and say hi if you're in the area.
Here we go then, we're ready. Rack number 5. Pijus third of the way to the required 9.
He really stays really still, doesn't he, before he breaks? First time I saw that, I thought my camera froze.
There's a guy from the Philippines called Ivan Maluto, called Ivan the Machine Maluto, plays out of Power Break in Abu Dhabi, and he has the longest pause on a break I've ever seen. I mean, he's the only guy I've ever known that might one day need a shot clock to break. I mean, he really, really does take ages. He'd use his extension as well. I think I counted 32 seconds it took him to break.
Yeah, you definitely got plenty of time to go to a commercial break. Read off the sponsors, do all kinds of things.
Well, that's what you call using the pocket. Now, can he just draw up without using a rail? Can't quite see how thin this is. Might run into the 6.
Judging by the way he was pointing at the rails, I think he was planning on going between the 6 and the 4 and coming 3 rails around the 3, but I might be mistaken. Okay, just 2 rails
nice
up.
Call. Nice call. Played it very well indeed, didn't he?
Not entirely out of the woods yet. It's got a little bit of a thin cut on the 3. He's going to make holding it for the 4 ball difficult, and he's got that 5 in the way to deal with, so he's got a little bit of work to do. Very nicely done. I think he's taken care of all the big problems from here. It should be pretty smooth sailing. Neither player takes a lot of time at the table, do they?
No, good to watch.
You would think they're paying for table time the way they play.
Yeah, this is perfect. Made sure he got the nice little angle on this 8-ball just to stun it in. This then for a 3-rack lead.
Four to 1. Race to 9.
Naoyuki, just caught a glimpse of him sitting in his seat there. And he won't be panicking. He'll be sitting relaxing, and that's such a big part of this game. You know, it's not all about when you're at the table, it's about how you handle yourself in the time when you're waiting for your next opportunity, and you have to stay in the moment, stay in the present, as they say, stay calm. And then when your chance comes along, you're in a good place in your head to start again. Something, Kevin, obviously at a very much lower level, but it's something I've been trying lately, and it works. You know, before I've been seething in my seat and fidgety and can't wait to get back to the table, getting more and more agitated every time my opponent pots a ball. But now I just sit there, fold my arms, relax, have a sip of water, and it works, you know. So when you're not at the table, it's just as important as when you are at the table to keep your head in check.
Yeah, one thing you could do that a lot of players do is they don't even watch the match you're playing. They'll watch a neighboring match.
Yeah, Jason Shaw is one of those that you'll often see sat watching with not his back to the table, but he's certainly side on to the table because he's watching another match on the next table. Some people don't want to watch their opponent.
I went to a pro tournament once, and there was like 4 tables in a row, and every one of them, the person that was in the chair wasn't watching their own match. They were watching the table next to them. It was like right down the line, they were watching the match on the next table over. It was pretty funny, actually.
It's like, yeah, it looks like synchronized dancing or something. Everyone facing the same place.
Yeah. It's like someone told them, all right, when you're in your chair, you have to watch the table to your immediate right. All right, there's a simple little safety there by Naoyuki. Is he going to get a rail? Yeah, he's got a rail. Oh, did he get a safe out of it?
Well, yeah, I think he might have an edge here, though, Kevin.
Still did very well
Slide
with that.
Between the 4 and 7. Well, is he? Yeah, he hit a rail, yeah. One ball hit a rail, of course. And that's a good safety, that. Lots of left-hand English. And that's left-hand spin on the cue ball.
Are you going to try to soft kick this one past the 6, or is he going to try to do... Well, no, I think he's looking at trying to go behind the 6 to kick and stick. That'd be nice if he could get in there, but no, he isn't. Wow, nicely
well
done.
That deserves a tap on the table, and it gets one. A little bit of appreciation there from the man from Japan. Represented his country, of course, on, I think it's about 6 occasions, actually, in the World Cup of Pool Championships, the doubles. various partners over the years. He's looking at going 2 rails here after this as we see the replay.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one to hit. That was a nice little kick and stick there by Naoyuki.
Trying to get in behind that 5 ball.
Oh, and he's almost made it. What a nice hit. What a good effort. Unfortunately, no reward. Naoyuki comes to the table with a nice look at this one. Perfect angle to come out for the 2. 2 to the 3 is going to be a bit tricky, though.
Whenever good kicks are made, we often refer to the Filipinos as being great kickers and safety players in general. But you know, pretty much everyone now in the game is pretty good at that side of it, because you have to have that part of your game now, and a lot of players practice it. Not just hitting the ball, it's playing precision, kicking, as we saw earlier on from both of these players, with a nice little kick and stick and a nice little flick off the one ball to get the hook back. So it really is a great element of the game that's getting better and better. The standard is raising all the time. It's great to see. It's a very interesting part of the game for me. It's not all about running racks.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember back in the 80s and 90s, American pool players, when they're kicking at a ball, they're just either hitting hard, hoping to get lucky, or maybe going for like a hit and stick like we saw, but that was about the extent of it. Then the Filipinos came over and showed us there's a whole world in this kicking game that the Americans knew nothing about.
Europe, we play a lot of safeties, and we also have a game called billiards, and it really does teach you how to use the angles and the rails, and helps with your safety play and your kicking.
Oh, I can't believe that didn't drop.
Yeah, and do you know what? Funny that, because I played an 8 ball the other night in a tournament, exactly the same as that, and I didn't quite hit it hard enough. It did exactly the same as that, and it could have been, if it had been just a little bit harder, Kevin, it would have had that forward momentum, which would have helped it have that half a roll more, you know, which would have taken the pocket. So not always, you know, you're not always hitting them too hard. Sometimes you can hit them too soft, where they just haven't got that forward momentum to get the gravity to take over. That was pointed out to me by a player after I missed the 8 ball. He said, in future, play those just a little bit harder to get that forward momentum. .61, and I'm still learning, Kevin.
Although sometimes it's hard to take advice from someone right after you lose a game and then have them tell you what you did wrong. Sometimes it might be kind of hard to hear that.
Well,
at least
having
for me,
said
anyway.
that, I left it in the jaws like that, right in the pocket, and the guy was stretching, and he actually miscued, and I won that match.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and that was in the semi-final to get to the final, and the poor guy miscued, and it's a fine example of not giving the balls before they're potted, you know?
Right.
You never know what might happen. I'm not using my games as a comparison to this level, of course. I'm just saying, no matter what level you are, it's always nice to learn things and if we can improve our game, no matter what standard you are, just makes it that little bit more enjoyable. Yeah, so if he can knock in this 8 and 9 ball, he'll have a 4 rack lead, and you could, you could say this is slowly slipping away from Naoyuki. Getting desperately close to that side pocket, but it's perfect on the 9 ball, and it's going to be 5-1.
Yeah, a little close for comfort on the side, but not a problem. When you're as accurate with the cue ball as he is, it's not a problem. If it's me at the table, that's a problem. I shouldn't be anywhere near that close. Meanwhile, Naoyuki over there.
Stepped out. Yeah, I thought he'd stepped out for a little break there, Kevin, at one point.
Naoyuki over there calmly waiting for his turn.
It's a dry one. No damage done though. Might see what we call a push out now. After any break, a player, if they don't like the situation, may play what's called a push out, and Naoyuki has called one here. So he's looking for somewhere to put that cue ball. Doesn't have to hit a rail, doesn't have to hit another ball. You must just strike the cue ball with the tip of the cue, and he can play it anywhere he wants, and then his opponent will come and have a look, and if he doesn't like the situation, he can put his opponent back in. So Naoyuki sort of trying to give him a look at it. He won't want to hook him, especially with no jump cues allowed. So just put it where it's not too easy to play a safety. And I think if we're playing this though, cue ball into the 6, off the 1 ball back down the right hand side of the table, cover behind the 3 balls. Oh, he's looking at coming another way. Is he looking at kicking it from behind? Maybe.
Yeah, that 3 ball might be in the way for the, to bank the 1 straight up the table. So the other option is bank the 1 out of there and leave the cue ball there. Well, I think he was looking at kicking. And that looks perfect.
Yeah, nicely done.
So was he paying attention to where the 1 hit the rail? Because the cue ball just needs to follow that exact same path.
He's going 2 rails here. Side rail, bottom rail, somewhere near that accu rack from Outsville that's sat on the rail there. Right on the point of that accu rack. Just like that.
Oh, he's got a
Well, he'll be
safe out of
very
it.
happy with that. Yeah, this is nasty. Hit that about as good as you can hit. Might have to go 3 rails here, you know. Around the back of the 4 and 3.
Yeah, that's not a bad one.
He's going to play a deliberate foul here, try and tie something up. Play the 8 into the 2 maybe.
Yeah, I like your idea. I like the 3 rails behind the 1. You might make the 1 in the side. If you get a solid enough hit, you might be kicking the 1 down table and leaving the cue ball behind, like maybe the 7 ball. I think you can get some good things by going 3 rails behind the 1.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't looked to that option yet. This is very tricky. And where are you going to go with it? You need to hit this absolutely perfect. Thin off this right-hand side of the 1 as we look. Send the 1 up by the 6. Cue ball maybe behind the 5. And he's hit the other side of it. And that was the danger, you know. I couldn't really see a lot going well with that shot. Although, having said that, he's had a bit of a result there. Not left anything easy.
Yeah, that was just a case of he's just hitting it hard and trying to make something happen in that case.
And we went back to the 70s style of play there, Kevin, for just a second.
It's worked out for him, though, because he's going to have another chance at this 1. That 5 doesn't have him blocked, does it? No.
Played that very nicely. I think he can just cue to the side of the 5. It shouldn't be too awkward. Might use the 9 here. Yeah, just coming round to have a look. Flick off the right hand side of the top of the 9 and flick the cue ball up.
Unless I'm seeing the angle wrong, and I might be, it looks to me like if he tries to draw off the 9, he's going to be drawn right under that 7 and might even get hooked by it.
Yeah, I think that's what he's worried about. He's just trying to get a really, almost like a half ball contact on the 9. Doesn't want to hit it full.
Right.
Or too thick.
Oh, that's
beautiful.
Perfect. Very nice shot. Well, couldn't
It's
ask for any
those
better than
little
that.
shots, isn't it, Kevin? It's those little shots, you know. The ability to see that and to execute it so accurately. That's probably one in this rack. That one little shot there.
Yeah, that shot right there, that is a perfect example of what separates the pros from the amateurs.
I mean, okay, you know, it was easy to hit the 9, but it's not just hitting it, it's how you hit it. And as you said, could have gone wrong behind the 7. Still work to do, though. Slightly the wrong side of this 5.
He might be able to play it off the 7 and just draw straight back for kind of a cut on the 6. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, thinking exactly the same there. Play it off the 7. You have to be a little bit careful, though, where the 7 goes. You don't want to tie it up with the 8. That could go wrong.
Yeah, or even the 9. Definitely things could go wrong if you do that.
And I think that's why he didn't risk it. He thought about it.
This would be okay if he wasn't over the 9 ball. That 9 ball does add to the difficulty of this.
Yeah, anything other than getting your cue parallel to the bed of the table spells a little bit of danger, because any little piece of English you get on the cue ball is magnified, of course, because you're cueing down on the cue ball, almost like a mini masse. And that's caused him to miss it.
Yeah, I think if that 9 ball wasn't there, I think he wouldn't have had any problem pocketing that ball.
Yeah, as soon as you elevate the butt of the cue, everything's magnified that you do on that cue ball. Well, I ran into a friend of mine yesterday who's owns a pool room in Bangkok called Hustlers, or part owns it, and he's actually quitting the business to go on the road in the States, and he's going to be playing at this event next year. A friend of mine called Stuart Petman, an ex snooker pro, was actually number I think he reached number 26 in the world at one stage.
Right on.
Great player. So he's going to try his hand at the Derby City and a few other tournaments. He's a very, very good, accomplished pool player, and he's also a sight right coach. I don't know whether you're familiar with that coaching method.
I've heard of it, but I'm not.
Yeah,
I've heard of it, but I'm not really familiar with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a guarded secret. Only a handful of coaches
Mayday,
know
mayday.
the secrets. Yeah, that's a bit careless, that. He had so much space to put that cue ball in.
Now, if jump cues were allowed, this wouldn't be a problem. You could jump this in, no problem.
Yeah, I'm wondering, will he masse this? Hard to kick it in. He's got to hit this perfect. That's what he's looking at. He needs to catch this perfect. He's looking now at the other way, off this lower rail as we look. I mean, he's guaranteed to hit it this way, but where does it go? He might be trying to make this, in the side. Watch the scratch. Watch the scratch. Oh, he's okay. He hit it thick.
That was a nice effort, though. And he hasn't left much for Naoyuki.
He had a very quick look at that, seeing if it cuts in. Does it cut? No. Just the safety. Yeah, almost, Kevin. I think we might see Pijus have a go at this. Don't see what options he's got. I think if he can see it, he has to go for this. Stun over to the side rail. Guaranteed to be on the 8.
Yeah. He can definitely see it. He almost has enough of it to shoot it to the right corner. That's how much of it he can see. He definitely has enough to shoot it to the left corner.
Yeah, I think that is the shot. He wants to have a go at it. And if you want to, I think you should do. Go for it, 100%, all in. Having said that, he might regret it now, though.
Yeah, but
I
you can't.
think
You can't blame him
When
for
the
shooting there.
safety's, yeah, but when the safety's as difficult as the pot, I think you might as well go for it, especially,
Absolutely.
3 balls left.
Oh yeah, I absolutely do not fault him for shooting there. Not at all.
Easy sat here, Kevin, isn't it?
Yep. All right, well that worked out. Looks like he's straight in. Looks like he can just roll forward, it looks like. Oh, maybe I'm seeing it wrong because he's drawing this.
Yeah, he's going to play the 9 into the same pocket, I think. Oh, look at this for a shot into the bottom right.
Wow.
What a shot that is. Oh, he'll have enjoyed that. That might just give him the little springboard that he needed. That was a beautiful shot. Let's have another look at that, Kevin, can we? Here we go, look. Right on cue. Couldn't wait to get round the other side of the table to admire his work. Fabulous.
Yeah, he was there before the cue ball was.
Come to Naoyuki, come to Naoyuki. Very nice.
Doubles his score. Trails by 3, 5-2 in this race to 9.
Yeah, and I'm telling you something now. He's struggling with the break. Remember right back to the beginning when Pijus Labutis was about to break off, and Naoyuki came to the table and said, "You're breaking off from the wrong place." In the matchroom events that Naoyuki is so used to playing in, there's little white marks on the head string line that indicate where the break box is, and it's slightly different than the one they're using here. And you kind of get used to where you're placing the cue ball, in relation to those little marks on the head string line. And if they're not there, you have to do a little bit of tinkering and a little bit of, trial and error to get that break working. And he's missing that one in the side, which is the ball he's going for. So the break is just troubling Naoyuki at the moment.
Reminiscent of that 6 ball he missed a couple of games ago. Or was that last game? 1 or 2 games ago. Except he's not over a 9 ball this time.
Yeah, that was the last game.
Seems longer than that, but yeah, I guess it was.
Yeah, a little bit of to and froing as well, didn't they, on the 7?
Yeah, there's a lot of good safety play going on in this match. I'm enjoying this match. A lot of good play and good safety play going on, and then I go and say that, and he goes and does this.
Yeah, hit that completely wrong. He caught it much too thin. Was trying to hold the cue ball behind the 8 and just totally misjudged it.
Never fails when I go.
Deceleration.
Whenever I go and say nice things about someone, they go and do something like that. Never fails.
Stop saying nice things, Kevin.
All right, you jerk.
All right, I didn't mean that far. I'm not even playing. You can't I can't believe you're sharking me in the booth.
Oh, you meant stop saying nice things about the players. Got it. Okay. Got a bit of a needle to thread here from the 2 to the 3. Oh, and he threads it perfectly. Nicely done. Good speed.
Yeah, nice little sequence of shots coming up here. Stop the cue ball for the 5. Nice little stun up from the 5 to the 6. 7 to the 8, no problem. All about the 8 to the 9.
Take Route 4 to Highway 5 to Interstate 6 to Highway 7. It's kind of like a road map. Yeah, after he made that 2 to the 3, the hardest shot of this rack is going to be the 8 to the 9, and that's not really a very difficult shot.
Yeah, lands perfect on this 8 ball. Draw, a bit of left hand coming towards the 9 ball. Nice straight in on the 9. For another one from Naoyuki. It's going to be 5-3 now, just trails by 2.
Closing up that gap, trying to catch up. I am Kevin Ross, being joined by Mark White.
Hi, Kevin Ross.
Hey, Mark. Oh, hi, Mark.
Making sure there's no gaps in the balls. The AccuRack that they're using from Outsville does hold them very, very tight. The best template on the market, bar none, in my opinion. It doesn't fly all over the table either. It's made of a special material. It clings to the cloth. And there you see, the only ball that didn't move was the 9 to start with until it got kicked. Unfortunately, though, it's a kick in the, well, it's a kick in the teeth and a kick in the side pocket for Naoyuki there.
It is all of the above.
That is a feature of the bar, of the breaking from the box, you know. Often see scratches in the side pocket if the cue ball doesn't get kicked.
Yeah, especially going with the cut break, you're sending that cue ball around quite a bit, back and forth through traffic.
Well, that's a pretty good shot. Now, can he dig down, or can he just run past the 6 and 9?
Yeah, if he shoots this with a high ball, it's looking to me like he's going to hit the 6. I think he has to draw it.
Yeah, that was difficult as well, though.
That's trouble.
Might be one of those kick and sticks here, Kevin. Could come off it thin, or could go the other way, play behind the 5. Options. Always good to have options.
Yeah, I think of the options, the 2 I like the best are coming off the left side, trying to get the cue ball behind the 5, or thinning off the right side, trying to get the cue ball back down under this 9-6.
concentrate here on getting a good cue ball. Forget about the 3 because that's going to be tracking towards the pocket. Oh, he's caught it really thin.
And looks like he's got him with the 4-ball.
Yeah, might have a left edge here, Kevin. It's certainly got an easy 2-rail kick.
I think Naoyuki went and backed up about 10 feet to have a look. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. So it looks like he's going with option B, which is the 2-rail kick.
Yeah, you often see people pointing their tip at the exact point. Players, just out of interest, aren't allowed to put any mark on the cloth with their tip to give them any kind of advantage, nor are you allowed to put a piece of chalk there as a marker, as a guide.
Exactly right.
None of that.
That would be a no-no. He's going to want a big bounce. All right, this works. I think he was playing for that right-hand side pocket, but this works just fine.
He's not happy with that. He's going to need an extension on his cue or the bridge. Extension it is. Straightforward drawback. Sounded a bit like a contradiction, that, didn't it? Straightforward drawback. I've never said that before. I'll probably never say it again, to be honest. He's going for a break, I think.
Yep, looks like players on break, so we'll be right back. All right, players are back.
I'm back.
Pijus back in the winner's seat again, back to winning games.
Three ahead, needs 3 more. Naoyuki got an uphill battle now. I always feel if you can keep your opponent off the hill when you're behind, that's a big incentive. Just keep them off the hill. Take it 1 ball at a time, 1 rack at a time.
Well, here's a good
chance. This time a
chance.
scratch for Pijus. Yep. Didn't hit them accurately enough there from Pijus. 5 ball a little bit awkward, Kevin. Well, I say a little bit awkward, it's very awkward. Especially with a 9 where it is. I don't think it has a pocket apart from this bottom right.
Well, on this camera angle, it does look like the 5 does go to that upper left corner, and you have the 4 ball right there to drop on the 5, so unless I'm seeing things, I think that 5 goes to that upper left corner on screen.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's got a couple of pockets, so it's all about the 4 to the 5. And now, it obviously needs the correct angle on the 4 from the 3.
I mean, from this camera angle, it looks like the 5 goes to that bottom right corner. From this camera angle.
Yeah. What, from the bottom right as we look?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be right.
Yeah, the
Doesn't
bottom
look
left.
like it from there.
Yeah, bottom
Does
left
it?
on this. Bottom left on this angle. It looks like it goes from the other camera angle.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't look like it from here.
Oh, he's missed it.
Yeah, and he's tried to come this side of it. I think he was playing for that shot you suggested, up that top left-hand corner, Kevin. And now Pierce having a look at it. Might even be looking at the 5-9 as well. That's an option.
That is an option.
Two-way shot behind the 8. I think combo it is. Or just a straightforward hook, yeah. Good shot. Oh, Naoyuki will be feeling terrible because he's put himself in this situation. You cannot miss 4 balls like that at this level.
No, not if you want to win.
I think he's going 3 rails here. Oh, he's gone 1 rail. Wow.
He's got 2 balls moving, but nothing found a pocket. And he's left a pretty nice shot for Pijus.
Yeah, should be playing the 7 into the same pocket.
Just get around that 8. All right, no problem.
Yeah. He cut that a bit fine, didn't he, getting past that 8 ball?
A little close.
Little heart in mouth moment.
Inching a little bit closer to that finish line. 7-3. Race to 9.
Yeah, I think even looking at the scoreline 7-3, I'm not sure Pierce will be feeling great about this particular match. He's been okay in parts, but has missed a few balls you wouldn't expect him to. Neither player has broken great either.
No, we haven't been seeing many break-and runs. I think we saw 1 or 2, but not many. Here you go, Pijus with the break.
Finally Gets that one ball. Lost the cue ball slightly. He may have a shot to it to the side. Cue ball running up and down the table. Back towards that 3 ball maybe. I think there's value in going for this one, Kevin.
Yeah, if he can get that cue ball somewhere in the vicinity of that 5 ball, yeah, he'll have a look at the 3.
And right on cue, he walks round and puts his cue exactly where he wants that cue ball. Looks pretty natural to me. Just make sure of the pot. Wow.
He did not. Yeah, coming back to where he just pointed with his cue stick, that's dangerous. You can hook yourself behind the 9 so easily.
The tendency then is to overplay it slightly. Wow, he's overcut that by a long way. That didn't even threaten the pocket. And all of a sudden the place comes to life again.
Yeah, I think Naoyuki would be fortunate to get back to the table this game. You mentioned how important it was to keep your opponent off the hill. But it looks like that's exactly where he's going to be.
It's going to be an uphill struggle for Naoyuki. Really lost this match in the early part, didn't he? He went 5-1 down.
Is that why they call it on the hill? Because it's an uphill battle for your opponent? I've always wondered why it's called on the hill.
Yeah, someone did tell me why it's called hill
Did he just hook
or
himself?
on the hill.
Wow.
He did.
I thought he was going to play that for the corner, not for the side. Wow. That was unexpected. Alright, we did have a camera difficulty there. Naoyuki did end up winning that game. Sorry about that.
Well, to answer your earlier question about where the term hill comes from,
Oh, you looked it
it
up?
comes from when two armies are in a battle and the army that reaches the high ground, i.e. the hill, is likely about to win the battle.
It's
The
over,
grand old
Anakin.
Duke
I have the high ground.
The old Grand Duke of York, he had 10,000 men. He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them down again.
Now you know. You don't often see a push out when you can see the object ball, but I think that was one of the few times when it's not all that unreasonable.
Yeah, I think that was a wise choice because the safety was very, very difficult. Couldn't kick at it, although it's very close to that side pocket because of the 2 and the 3 in the way.
Wow, that was razor thin. Nice shot.
Took the paint off that one. Great shot. Don't think Naoyuki was expecting that. Maybe was trying to tempt him into playing it. Pijus said thank you very much. Yeah, and with that 7 ball over the corner, the combo was unmissable. Yeah, got lots of low right on that cue ball. Played that very well. If anything, a little bit too well. Checked it up with lots of left hand spin on the cue ball, so when it hit that rail, almost killed the cue ball. Well, this is a little bit short. No problem.
Not a problem. In it goes. Pijus on the hill.
Well, certainly has reached the higher ground first, so you'd expect him to win this battle and a place in the next round. Doesn't make the 1 ball this time.
Or any other ball.
Yeah, it's dry. I think we're going to see another push out though. Cue ball getting bumped all over the table like a pinball machine. Yeah, difficult push out this because he's going to leave an easy safety wherever he puts this cue ball. Now he can get the cue ball behind that 7 or he can get distance, play the cue ball over behind the 8. Could kick it from behind. He's got options again. Always good. Options are good.
Yeah, I think cue ball over behind the 8's probably going to be your best bet.
I think he's worried about playing behind the 7 because the 1 ball's going to be going towards that 2 and he doesn't want to leave it over the side pocket, the 1 ball. Came up with something else.
Oh, he's left distance. Can never go wrong leaving distance.
Yeah, okay, could maybe have a go at this. Might be able to just have a go at this and play an element of safety to it.
He went at it.
Yeah, went all in, didn't he?
Yeah, he bet everything on that shot.
Yeah, went all in and could be all out after this. This is probably the most difficult shot he's got to play in this rack.
I think he got there.
Yeah, can just drag this 3 in, a little bit of low right, just to hold the cue ball more or less where it is.
Just like that.
Yeah, nicely done. 8 in a nice position in comparison to the 7. Maybe finish just a little bit straight on this 4 ball. So he's going to have to go forward 2 rails. No problem at all. He could just stun off the back. What was the problem there, Pijus?
No problem. What are you worried about?
Two rails come towards the 9 and it should be all over. Naoyuki getting ready to shake the hand.
Yeah, so Pijus does defeat Naoyuki Oi 9-4 in this round 4 match. Both players had 0 losses at the beginning of this match, so Naoyuki's still in if he wants to rebuy, because this is a rebuy tournament. He has 1 rebuy left. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. We have plenty more matches from the Derby City on our channel, so be sure you are subscribed. I'm Kevin Ross, along with Mark White. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. See you guys.